Hello, my name is Christopher G. Bremacher, and I'm living with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and alcoholism. I have written a book about those things. Here's the book, Song for My Baby and Other Stories by Christopher G. Bremacher. It's about 330 pages long. There's a lot of variety in the book. I'll tell you about that in a second. Here's the title of the book, Song for My Baby and Other Stories. It's published by Unsolicited Press. You can reach them at unsolicitedpress.com. And the motto of the book, or the pitch of the book, so to speak, is living well while mentally ill. And during the time of my mental illness, and I'm still technically mentally ill, although I enjoy fairly good mental health today. During the time of my mental illness, and I had a breakdown in 1974 and was sick for about 47 years. During that time, I did a lot of things. I hunted ducks, I downhill skied, probably to excess. I played handball, a lot of handball. I reviewed theater, I hunted partridge. I drove a lot of cars. I've owned a lot of old cars. One trouble with being mentally ill is you tend to have low-paying jobs where you can't afford new cars. You just have to do with old cars. And fortunately, I was a car person who loved cars. It's three of the stories. One story is about a '63 Chevy, and one is about a '91 Ford Probe. And old cars that I owned and renovated and drove around town. Made them last for quite a while, 3 or 4 years. I had a '93 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra also. I made that last 4 years. There's another story about duck hunting, a story about a man who jumps off a cliff on skis. There's a story about a dating service. I had 12 dates in 12 months. A story about a relapse in alcohol. I had 25 years of sobriety until I relapsed on 2 drinks about 2.5 years ago, so I'm starting over. There's a story about, about a Muslim girl I knew who's a friend of mine, really, who used to work at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, and she was the most beautiful woman there at any given time, and everybody knew it, and she was a janitor. She just happened to be beautiful. It's a story about a laptop. What is so big a deal about a laptop? Well, I gained a terrific amount of mental health one day. At least I thought I did. So I celebrated by buying a laptop, and the story's about that. There's a story about my mother. I called the caregiver. I was her caregiver for 17 years. She had Alzheimer's from the age of 65 until she died at the age of 87. She was a kind of a tough old bird and liked to exercise, and explained why she lasted so long, I believe, although she was in a locked building for the last 7 years of her life. There's a story about my father. There's one story called My Story, which is about years in and out of psych wards and veterans homes. There's a story, one of my favorite stories, about my brother renovating or buying really an old outboard motor that somebody had renovated and sold to us that we still drive to this day. We've had it about 15 or 20 years, and it runs like a top. Big 45 horse Johnson. What else? I guess that's about it. The point of the book really is that if you do have illnesses like mine, not schizophrenia, or bipolar disorder, or alcoholism, it's better to engage in life, to enjoy life, to do pleasurable things, to have some fun, instead of stare out the window and smoke cigarettes. Because if you ever do get well, it gives you a life to look back on of pleasurable experiences, instead of just sitting there for all those years. And yes, I sought therapy. It's true. I took medication. I'm still on medication. I've been on. There's a story about that. One story is called My Medicine Cabinet. All the drugs in the cabinet that I take for my head and for my heart. One of the stories is about a heart attack I had about 13 years ago. I couldn't write after the heart attack, and the VA assigned a vocational rehabilitation specialist to me and to help rebuild my ability to write, which took her about a year and a half to get the job done. But eventually, I could put two words together again. That's about it that comes to mind. Once again, I'll show you the book. Here it is. Song for My Baby and Other Stories by Christopher G. Bremacher. And there's the publishing company, unsolicitedpress.com. You can go Unsolicited Press, and you can go on Chrome. Please go on Chrome when you buy the book. It won't work on Explorer. I didn't try Firefox, but go on Chrome and click on books. Get to Unsolicited Press website and click on books, then pre-orders, and there the book is on pre-orders. One more thing, there's a lot of variety in the book, and it might be that there's more variety in this book right here than there is in any book on the book stands in the bookstores right now. There's a lot of different kinds of stories. There are about 40 different stories, and each one is different. Anyway, thanks for watching, and good night, and God bless. Hope you buy the book, of course.